Welcome to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. This is LGBTQ plus same-sex reading for March. We're going to see. I need to change the title. It's what you're stuck into. So we're going to look at what energy you're currently in, right? That you need to come out of to go into the next energy, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Most High, thank you so much for blessing with the gift of intuition as an intuitive reader. Allow this reading to bring clarity, understanding, and confirmation for the LGBTQ plus community. As above, so below, I'll share. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And then look out, I'm getting ready to, after this live, and after I correct the title of this reading, because with the stuck in energy, it's for the first half of March. So it's the first and the second week. And then I'm going to go in and upload. I'm not going to do the 12 zodiac signs. I'm going to do them by element. So it's going to be air, fire, earth, and water. Those will be for the first week of March. So that's why this is wrong. Okay, this whole title for this one is wrong. I was supposed to do the stuck into energy first before I broke them down into elements. So this reading is for the first half, which is the first and second week of March. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what energy you're currently in or was in as far as like past energy, and what energy for those of you who are no longer and you're kind of at a standstill, or you're kind of really trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of questions of the whys or maybe the how, and you'll be able to see what energy that you need to get into so that you can get that clarity, or you can resolve whatever blockage or obstacle or challenge that you're going are you're getting ready to step into, or that you're already currently in. For those of you who can't really pinpoint or identify your current energy, because we can be happy, right? But in shadow self, there's another of something that needs to be identified, so that happy or that joy is pure. Okay. All right. So, what energy is the LGBTQ plus in at this time that they need to step out of? We have death and magic. Okay. This is the goddess Morrigan, Morrighan, death and magic. You guys know that death is a transformation, it's an ending, it's a rebirth. So it is a good thing, right? But when death and magic comes into play, it's like the ending of ego, right? The ending of a dangerous pride, the ego, the death of, because ego is magic, right? That is a role in magic, as well as pride, right? And those two energies can be dark, but some people don't even realize that they are, their death is instead of, how should I say this? Instead of constantly dying daily to elevate, right? It's more so, it's still elevating in higher self. This is the constantly dying daily in the death of shadow self, right? This is the kind of people that you would say most commonly you would hear they have no soul type thing. But I'm gonna read this. Okay. That was intuitively. All right. You notice that if you're in a sunken place in shadow self, those scars are permanent. Okay. And for the most part, there's wounds that cannot be healed, because it's kind of like, even when you're in higher self, once once a gateway is open, it can't be closed, right? And that's why it's important to make sure that you don't entertain low vibrational or dark energies. And the reason for is that because you can open up a gate that cannot close, especially when you're learning, right? We all are learning. Some people like to say at a certain stage they are comfortable where they are, and they rather just choose to go through phases, different pages, right? Pages don't last that long. It had in order for the story to be complete, you have to continuously turn the page. Now, I'm pertaining to chapters, right? You can still remain your own self and identity, right? It just depends, where are you in the chapter? Okay, what position do you play? Or what role? The reason why I'm happy I said that is because for those of you who are playing the game, you are competitive. You like to win square and fair, meaning there is no ill intention, there is no ill motive. But then there's some who say by any means necessary. They don't mind the Ten of Swords, stabbing people in the back, the Seven of Swords, trickery. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the Death and Magic. So the energy that some of you are in, right? Because some of you it's not the slow process. You're getting ready. It's like you're getting ready to experience your shadow self, right? And I'm talking about you. And if it's in a relationship, it would be more of a twin flame type thing. Twin flames, it feeds off of toxicity. If it has to do with marriage, this simply means that I can't confirm, but for the most part, this is set in stone as a ruin that on my end, with the commitment of a vow, right, to death do us part, I am going to become darker, right? Very toxic relationship, marriage, I should say. But there are some marriages that is their soul. It's like as above, so below. So below, you choose the menace of a rebel life. And for those of you who are in between rebel and menace of rebel life, this is more so only God is going to have to stop me. I'm not changing into a particular situation or event happens or occurs to make me say, I choose my higher self. Okay, let's go ahead and read this. Number 38. So you are being invited to address the areas in your life that no longer serve and that need to die without a promise of what will take its place. Do you need to walk away from someone, a way of behaving or thinking like the caterpillar who has no idea how to be a butterfly? You must surrender to the process of metamorphosis. You must make room for the miracle while at the same time not demanding certainty. So remember when I was saying for some of you who are now, it's like a slow process. You're now stepping into the energy of death and magic. Okay. So understand when I pull the energy that you need to get into, this is you saying, this is you by free will saying, okay, I'm in the energy of death and magic. How long am I going to read this page? Meaning, how long are you going to accept being in shadow self or entertaining shadow energy or allowing people to present their shadow self, right, to you? An environment, people, place, or thing, are people within places. Okay. And pertaining to the metamorphosis, that's why I got to be obedient because that was given to me. It said that the death of metamorphosis, and I didn't say it because I was questioning, like, how does the death of metamorphosis? Because when you shed the basically from the cocoon and the butterfly comes out, where is the actual death? Is the death the part where you have to learn how to be a butterfly? Because a cocoon has no, that is a barrier to be able to protect you to become whole, right? But the true experience, in order to understand that there is light, you have to experience dark. And by it being a page is how long are you writing this page, right? Understand that paper is a canvas. And choosing your words wisely is very, very important, especially when you're creating heaven on earth. Some people enjoy, that's why I'm not being biased to anyone. If you enjoy creating, I can't say hell because I don't know what that is. I can say a sunken place, a dark place, right? AKA the crab in the bucket type thing. Let's see what energy that you need to step into. LGBTQ plus. All right, what energies does LGBTQ plus need to go into for the first half of March, the first and the second week of March? We have humor. Been there, done that. Have fun, live life, right? So also this humor is also my, and pertaining to shadow self, it is a dark energy called the evil smile, right? Pertaining to, it's like someone enjoys, or let me say this, someone enjoys balancing shadow and higher self, right? But when they're in their shadow self, it is reckless, I should say. Okay. And it's time to pick a side type thing. But in pertaining to, it's like I'm getting pay attention to the way people laugh. Is how you're going to identify if it's an evil laugh or which is the deaf and magic. Some of you are getting ready to identify different types of witches. You're going to be able to identify. That's all I could say is identify for the most part. All right, so let's see what energies come in for what you need to, the energy that you're in, and then the energy that you need to go into. What is the messages for Death and Magic? We have the Four of Pentacles, meaning what you have learned in the dark stays in the dark. That, my dear, will not come to the light. The reason why is because it's your shadow self. Moving forward and enjoying life, there are certain things that you don't need to tell people pertaining to your experiences and your shadow self. Okay, so with the Four of Pentacles, it's like now it's time for you to show people your maturity, show people that you are grounded, show people not that you're wise, but that you are not an individual that will allow someone to get one over on you. Okay. But for the most part, what I like about the Four of Pentacles is how this pentacle is held at the chest, right? Allowing the pentacle to be your crest of your chest, if that makes sense. Okay. So as you mature into higher self and being able to experience it, it's like your laugh or your smile may not be believable because you're not telling your story of what you've been through, of what needs to be said, not the victim mentality story, but the maturity of what you have learned and experienced, if that makes sense. All right. So what is the messages for humor? And that is the goddess Uzume. What is the message for the first half of March, the first week and the second week? We have the Ace of Swords. That is clarity, right? I don't think I want to go back into the past. I don't think I want to be that person with the justice at the bottom, right? I choose my heart to be a light as a feather. And listen, if you really want to tick somebody off, right, and you're testing that spirit within that person, ask them, is your heart light as a feather? Now, see, that's the rebel side of me, right? Because when you fully trust the Most High, all that is, right? Fearing no evil is the way to go. Just one moment. What's outside? All right. Thank you for waiting. Okay. So the Ace of Swords. Oh, this is beautiful. And then the World at the bottom, working your way up to the top, as above, so below. But this Ace of Swords is definitely confirming clarity and confirmation, and truly being able to see through bullshit, right? But seeing through your own self, and now understanding how simple it is to tap into happy and joy, and stop and being able to let go of I don't want to call it past hurts. I want to call it apologies way overdue, right? All right. That is your reading. Don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle, and that is you and I.